Hey, it's Kelly here from Zinny Me. Thought we talk a little bit about documentation and getting documentation done in private practice. We had a recent ad go out on our 10-minute treatment plan training that we are bringing in Barbara Griswold as a guest presenter. She's from the navigating the insurance maze, and she's going to be talking about how to do your treatment plan in 10 minutes. And there were some comments on it about who doesn't treatment plan. Of course, we all treatment plan and these kinds of things. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, first of all, the community as a whole. Never assume that others do what you do in practice. Also, never assume you know why they do or don't do what you do in practice. Also, it's good to look at why you are doing what you do in private practice. Where does it come from? Documentation is one of those areas that are very it's a shame-filled area. I think that comes from systems such as government systems with billing and Medi-Cal and Medicaid and Medicare. There's like these kind of checklists of what documentation has to look like in order for it to be paid. And when you come from agency or government work, there's a lot of stress and strain around documentation. Those systems are geared towards people who are not neurodivergent, whose brains think a certain way. Then when we go into private practice, we sometimes take on that same kind of voice. We internalize that system, and then we think we have to do our notes a certain way. We have to do everything like we were taught, and then we feel shame about it if we can't stay up on it. And I just want to say, like, there are ways to do things that are required by law, but to do them in a way that aligns with who you are. That is really important. And so sometimes we feel shame because we're not getting the notes done or the documentation done the way we used to or were taught to, but because we don't fit into the system. And it's time to acknowledge that private practice is your own system in a way. You are part of a larger, but you do get to create processes and things that really do work for you. And I'm not saying that this 10-minute treatment plan webinar that we're hosting is the only way to do things. It's to give you options to think outside the box, to free you up from what you were taught. And if you have any of that rigidity around documentation and treatment planning, how can you make it so that it protects you, but also so that it benefits you and the client? Anything we do in our businesses should benefit you and the client. You're looking for that intersection. And I think we come from systems that never benefited us. In fact, they oppressed us. They benefited not even always the client. They benefited the system. That's oppression. And we're looking to change that. Having a plan is important, right? And your plan as an psychoanalyst may look different than someone's plan as a DBT therapist or an ART therapist or, a somatic therapist. But being able to articulate to our clients, the process and the plan is therapeutically beneficial. It creates attunement, which improves outcomes. So I think that, it was just interesting watching this dialogue on the ad about treatment planning. And some of us didn't want to carry on what we learned in other systems. And we've been trying to iterate in more alignment with who we are, how our brains work, how our clients work, the kind of relationship that we foster with our clients. And this treatment plan training is meant to do that, just to help you find that alignment and make it more simple. In our coaching program today, I was talking about finding the ease. Look at your business processes. What feels cumbersome? Where do you have shame? What do you put off? And then we can look at, am I the person that has to do that? If not, could I outsource it or get rid of it? Is it necessary? If it's not, then why are we doing it? And if it is something that I have to do that is necessary, am I doing it in the most easeful way? Or am I trying to fit into somebody else's mold and way of doing things? And sometimes to find the easeful way, we have to try a few different things. We have to persist and fight for that ease in ourselves. Because what works for one person is not going to work for the other. And this treatment plan is meant to help you find the ease in treatment planning. And if you're like, I don't do treatment plans, come see if it might be helpful for you. It doesn't have to be like what you grew up with in the government jobs or the agency jobs. Private practice is an opportunity to create, to innovate, to be on the cutting edge, leading with all heart and great ethics and a new way of doing things. And treatment planning, it can be done in new ways. So we're going to suspend judgment in our community and not assume that you know how to treatment plan or that you do it well, but instead offer, hey, here's one way to do it more easefully. And there will be time for Q&A with Barbara too. So you can learn, you can ask questions about how to apply it to your way of learning, your brain type, and how you are doing your private practice. It's just funny, right? How we have all learned, like, this is the way you have to do it. But private practice blows the top off of that. This is the way you have to do it, obviously, like I said, was more of the benefit to the system than to you or the client. And we want to, at Zinni, our focus is always of how do we benefit the client and the therapist together? How does it make the therapist a better therapist? How does it make the relationship stronger? And we're always looking for those intersections and areas that, we can improve upon. Because in other jobs, you can't do that. You have to toe the line, follow the rules. So if you are struggling to find the ease, we just want to encourage you that there are many, many different paths to getting stuff done, even when it comes to documentation. And we're hoping that this training will help. There's a link below. We'd love to see you there. If this resonated with you, share it. See you next week.